moving forward? How does his arrest impact the team?
Stephen A. Smith, this cannot help. This is just a guess, but I think it will hurt the Chiefs because obviously, as Kerry just pointed out, it could not have come at a worse time. I've said again and again on this show, football more than any other game is a team unity game. And this can only be the first crack in a newly built foundation by the new regime headed by Andy Reid. Just as Kansas City prepares to go to Denver for a Sunday showdown in which the Chiefs are, I point out, 8-point underdogs. You and I have debated all year long, are they for real? Well, obviously, they have walked the very fine NFL line between great and bad, and it is a fine line. And they've been able to stay on the great side, in part because they have to date played the NFL's weakest schedule. To date, they have gotten to had the good fortune of facing Blaine Gabbert, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Terrell Pryor, Case Keenum in his first NFL start, Jason Campbell, and the immortal Jeff Tuel last Sunday in Buffalo.
That's right.
So that all helps. So you're teetering on that fine line, and what happens just as the schedule starts to turn cold as the weather, boom. The receiver you once picked in the first round, the receiver that just last offseason you gave 5 years and $56 more million to, does that. And Stephen A., I just got to believe this is such a selfish act on the part of a key piece to this puzzle that those teammates in that locker room today have to be shaking their heads and saying, why now? Why did he do that to us just as we're getting ready to board an airplane to play Peyton Manning?
The theme of First Take is to embrace debate, and obviously on most occasions we disagree. Naturally, I might add, and that's why we do what we do.
Very naturally.
We do what we do. But there are rare occasions where we agree with each other 1,000%, and this happens to be one of them. This just reeks of selfishness. There is no excuse for this kind of stupidity, this kind of selfishness. You know, I find myself, I don't know whether the word is flabbergasted, disgust, or whatever the case may be. Yes, he was suspended, 2009 for performance enhancing,
PEDs,
your PEDs.
Maybe
okay.
diuretics, I think I heard John Clayton.
Whatever it is. I'm looking at these numbers last year, 801 yards, just 59 receptions in 12 games. The 2 seasons prior to that, 1,100-plus yard seasons. Nothing that knocks your socks off. Nothing that speaks of Megatron or Larry Fitzgerald or somebody like that, even though it was better numbers than Larry Fitzgerald because Larry Fitzgerald needs a quarterback or needed a quarterback for years. But the point is, when I look at something like this, Tyrann Mathieu, in the past, and I've laid off him because he has been on his best behavior and making a difference for the Arizona Cardinals, so he doesn't deserve that right now. But I'm thinking of so many things that we talk about. I'm thinking of the fact that, you know, not most of these athletes were born into affluence, how they constantly, you know, are grateful or come across as incredibly grateful because, you know what, we've made it. We've made it. And you jeopardize it because you can't stay off some weed. It makes no sense to me. It is not only selfish, but it is incredibly weak. You know, if you want to do something, you could do that in the offseason. You could do that. I'm not going to get on them for the 13 mile per hour over the speed limit. I mean, if that's the case, y'all, I would have served a life sentence a long time ago. I mean, 35 miles per hour, he was going 48. I mean, please. Y'all want to call that news, just stop. But when you're pulled over and you've got marijuana in your possession, along with the passenger in your car was also arrested, and you signed a $56 million contract. Did you do that before you got the money? Did you get busted with the weed before you got the money? No, I don't recall that. I've looked it up. I don't recall anywhere where Dwayne Bowe was arrested for weed, for having weed in his possession prior to the $56 million. And what it does is it harkens me back to these athletes that talk about keeping it real or whatever. And I say this all the time. You can keep it real. You can be real dumb. You can be real stupid. You can be real selfish. And this is one of those things. Because in the end, what it comes down to is that you got yours. So you feel you can do whatever it is that you want to do. You are 9-0. You are about to go against Peyton Manning. you are in line and being mentioned as legitimate title contenders. All of this stuff is going on. When you were irrelevant, you did what you could to get yours. But now that you got yours and y'all are very relevant, now you have to engage in the selfishness. So to me, that's why I have no patience for it, even in this particular case, because it's the timing of it as well. I would just leave it at stupid if you did it while you were trying to get some money.
Right.
Okay? And you were losing. But the fact that you got your money and you're winning shows that it ain't about the team, it was all about you.